Hello, students. This is the flipped lesson for Storytown Lesson 6 Vocabulary. To participate in this lesson, you will need your Lesson 6 vocab sheet, a pen or a pencil, and optionally, you'll need a highlighter. If you lost your Lesson 6 vocab sheet, please check Edmodo for another copy. Here are the directions. First, watch and listen to this presentation on your own. Feel free to pause and go back as needed. Then, write the definition or meaning of each word on your vocab sheet. Finally, write a brief response to each question that goes along with the vocabulary word. Let's begin. Our first word this week is fused. When you use the word fused in a sentence, it could be a verb or an adjective. If it was a verb, it would be the actual action word in the sentence. If you want to use the word fused as an adjective, you would be describing something as being fused. Here's the meaning that you should write down on your vocab sheet. Joined together to become one object. If I were to use the word fused in a sentence, I could say, the heat had fused the pieces of the Jolly Ranchers so that they were stuck together. What might you do to fuse two pieces of paper? Think about it and write your response on your vocab sheet. Next, we have the word haywire. Haywire is an adjective or describing word in a sentence. The meaning of haywire is not working well or out of control. This word can be used in a sentence like this. When the radio went haywire, it had a lot of static. Think about a time when something you have is not working well or out of control. What can you do when electronics go haywire? Write your response on your vocab sheet. Next, we have the word immobile. Immobile is used as an adjective when you write it in a sentence. Remember, an adjective is a describing word. Immobile means cannot be moved. We can tell that this could be the meaning by looking at the prefix im, which means not or the opposite. So, not mobile. If I were to use immobile in a sentence, I could say, a big monument or statue is immobile because it stays in one place. What might cause you to be immobile? Write your response on your vocab sheet. The next word is intonation. Intonation has an I-O-N ending, so we know it's a noun, which is a person, place, thing, or idea. Intonation means the rise and fall in the pitch of a sound. If you were going to use the word intonation in a sentence, you could say, the intonation of a professional musician would most likely be in perfect tune. In what other career would someone have to be able to control his or her intonation? Write your response on your vocab sheet. Next, we have the word jest. In a sentence, jest can be a noun or a verb. Let's look at the meaning. The meaning of jest is something said in a playful or joking way. So, as a noun, a jest is the joke itself. As a verb, it's that act of joking around. If I were to use the word jest in a sentence, I could say, things that are said in jest are intended to be funny. How might you respond if someone said something in jest? Write your response on your vocab sheet. Next, we have the word sinuous, which has an O-U-S ending, telling us that it's an adjective or describing word in a sentence. Sinuous means something that has many curves and moves gracefully. If I were going to use the word sinuous in a sentence, I could say, a path that is sinuous would be full of bends and curves. What sports might require you to be sinuous? Think about it and write your answer on your vocab sheet. The next word on the list is supple, which is also an adjective. The meaning of supple is flexible or easy to bend. This word, supple, is often confused with the previous word, sinuous. They have very similar meanings, but supple would be used to describe an object that is flexible, whereas sinuous describes more of a motion or movement that an object or person might be making. So it's a very subtle difference, but they do have a very close meaning. Think about this question. Which is more supple, a blade of grass or a twig? Write your answer on your vocab sheet. That's it! So you might be looking at what's next. Well, you can go back to review any words you do not understand. Please highlight or circle any words you still have questions about, and we will discuss them in class. Be ready to play a review game in class using these words. Also, throughout the week, you will read and understand stories that use these vocabulary words. And finally, at the end of the week, you will use each word in an original sentence, and this will be your end of week quiz. Make sure you have your assignment completed on time and that you hand it in by the due date, and we'll see you next time.